Hey, I'm Margie with The Asking Spot, and I'm really excited because I'm taking part in a YouTube challenge. It is Sob's Rehabs that's hosting this one, and I don't know if you've ever seen them on YouTube, but they are great at explaining how and why you do stuff to furniture, and they work in big pieces. You really should check them out. But this is their challenge, and it is such a good one. It's a Wednesday challenge, as in the Netflix show Wednesday Addams. Yes, I love the show too. Okay, so to get ready for this one though, let's turn into, say, more of a Wednesday approved attire.
She's allergic to color.
Ooh, this may have been a bit too far. Perhaps one snap. All right, much better. Okay, so here is my curb find piece. Yeah, it's fabulous. Okay, but it does have some spots that are going to need a little extra care, and of course we're trying to make it look goth. But no matter what we want to do with it, we got to make sure it's clean. Now, if you've seen some of my YouTube videos before, I'll do one of these and I'll have descriptions below. Wicker can be cleaned. The key is making sure you do it on a sunny day. So let's head to the back. Now, cleaning this one is not going to be like you normally might do with a newer piece of wicker furniture, or, you know, for that matter, any other patio furniture out there. Pretty much you would just, strong jet finish with your hose and wash it on. This one's been out in the sun so long and is so old that it's rather brittle wicker. So I'm going to have to carefully clean it before I can kindly treat it and then put some finishing touches on it to protect it.
Gave it a gentle scrub down with some dishwashing liquid, making sure to rinse frequently because I didn't want the soap drying on this piece.
Using my trusty upcycled recycling cart. Did I say recycled enough? I'm using that to hold it aloft so it can dry. Now I am also going to tighten up some of the loose wrapping so that it will dry in place, hopefully. And then after it's dry, I'm going to glue it in place.
Well, that was the plan, and I did start doing it that way, using some raffia and wicker pieces that I submerged in water for 10 minutes so they become more pliable, and then I attached it to the piece the way you would weave it in normally. And I even went ahead and glued some of the back pieces to the back of it. But that side part, this stuff, I thought, okay, I could attach some, vine that I have and maybe use some of the twine and everything like that to attach it, or I could glue it like I did the back piece here. But I thought, wait a minute, this is the Wednesday challenge. There needs to be a nod to thing. So while I did prepare this one properly, I went ahead and did a few pieces with some wire and made it quite obvious that it had been sewn back together.
Hello, thing.
Here I am doing it with raffia, but later I switched to this black wire. The next day, after everything had a chance to dry, I went ahead and clipped off any excess raffia string, and I pulled away some of the wax paper I was using to make sure that glue didn't stick where it shouldn't. And then I got what I thought was a brilliant idea.
Option 1.
I'm going to attempt to gel stain wicker. I can come up with a whole bunch of reasons why this isn't a good plan and probably shouldn't work. But I have faith.
Option 2.
At this stage, when I'm about a third of the way done, after spending nearly 2 hours on it, I realized maybe I need to try some spray paint after all. I can just make sure that the top coat I put onto it is more protective.
Yeah, so this took me all of 20 minutes. The next day, on the way home from a work meeting, I popped into a charity consignment shop where half the money goes to charity and the other half goes to the person who consigned it. So win-win. I knew I'd be able to find the right size pillow, but I didn't think I'd find this good of a match. Oof. And the price I paid, it was such a great deal.
Just when you start to think, oh, I'm such a Morticia Addams, you realize, no, I'm more of a...
Uncle Fester.
Yeah, Uncle Fester. All right, here's the thing. I've got an experiment I want to try.
Do I have time for a snooze, or can you crack this one quickly?
I found the perfect size pillow at the thrift shop for my chair, but it's not the right color. It's color. So I thought, why not dye it? Now I could do any of the techniques I've done before with, I did one of my earlier videos is actually me just dyeing, painting furniture, and it's dining room chairs. I'll do one of those and have a link below. And then I also had another piece that I did that was a wingback chair that could have actually fit this challenge, except for the difference with both of those is that those were interior items, so they weren't going to be up to as many harsh elements. This is an exterior, so that's why I found this really cool paint. It's for exterior fabric painting. But then when I was reading the label on it, I realized two things. One, you really always should wear a mask when using spray paint, because there's a chuckload of chemicals in here. But two, the chemicals were very similar to what you'd find in a matte spray paint. So I think one side I'm going to try one and the other side I'll try the other. And here's why it's all possible. I actually did this before with spray painting a flexible plastic, and I'll do one of these and do one of these so you can see those if you need to, but the principle is you've got to do light layers and multiple layers, because normally when you're painting you want to do one big even layer, and that leads to cracking if it has to be flexible. But if you do multiple layers on top of each other, they can slide around and they can work, hopefully. Okay, so 3 coats in, and it's feeling, okay, a little crisp. I mean, definitely when you consider I can feel this side and it's soft, but could I lay my head down on it and sleep? Totally. It's not, it's not coming off or anything. Here's my problem though. When I went shopping for this, the slate gray, supposedly onyx, that was the only color they had. And while this will work for this challenge, I do want to try and get even darker. So on this side, I'm going to try my experiment. Same principle, light layers going to be sprayed on that pillow. This time around I'm using this paint though. It is a matte, and I think that might make it. All right. Layer number 3 has had a chance to dry on the just spray painting matte paint on this fabric, and I gotta tell you,
No smothering people in their sleep.
can't really tell a difference. It's weird. Like on this part, this type of fabric, I don't know what it is, it's slightly crispier, but on this one, it's totally softer. So I don't know if it's the fabric itself. But check it out though. This is definitely black, whereas this is slate gray. Now the only other benefit that may come from the fabric spray paint is that it says it's UV protectant. I'm not so sure that's a concern, but yeah. So turns out I think I was right that you really could use any matte spray paint, because the other ones, the ones that have, some sort of gloss, whether semi or regular gloss, those are going to have another chemical in it that might make it even crispier. Although to tell you the truth, with the wingback chair, I ended up putting a polyacrylic on the end of that, and it's fine. Whew. And this one, I'm thinking if I wanted to make it more water resistant, I might just try putting on a little bit of wax like I did with the chairs. Ooh, so much to think about. But overall, I'd say, yeah.
Sounds perfect.
Nothing. It's great. Time for the final step, which is a top coat. Now it can't be just any top coat, because this is a piece that's going to be outside and it's a wood piece, so it needs to have something that can handle expanding and contracting with the weather and elements. So that's why spar urethane. Has to be a spar urethane. Now, does it have to be this brand? I don't know. I don't think so. I always use this brand because it's easily accessible. Honestly, though, I've had no complaints with it, so why not? But definitely, definitely, definitely get a spar urethane, because spar urethanes are designed with an oil in them that allows it to expand and contract as it needs to.
Let's finish this.
Okay, before we get to the final results, let's take a look back at where we started. And if you could, please click the subscribe button and give a thumbs up. It helps out the channel immensely, and I thank you very, very much. And now the final results. If you are not all into goth, I still hope you watch the rest of this Wednesday channel, and I thank Sabs Rehabs again for hosting this, because one piece of black in a room design can really ground it and give contrast to everything else. But if you are into goth, just keep going, one piece at a time. Thanks for watching The Asking Spot. Got bloopers next.
There has got to be a better way to childproof these, because I can't do them.
There are actually, okay, enough planes already. So I found the perfect size pillow for my, after 3 coats, I have got a pretty great, blah, 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 blah. Breathe with it, it can contract and expand. All right, it is time to take out a want it, and no one will saw it coming. Blah, blah.